Today we'll be talking not only about disasters, but also about something that usually falls outside the scope of climate reports: parents and children. Most parents strive to give their children the very best: love, care, and safety. However, one key aspect often goes unnoticed, and it's directly connected to their future. Take a look at last week's overview of climate disasters, and you'll understand what we're trying to say. USA. On the evening of July 19th, heavy downpours triggered a flash flood in Montgomery County, located north of Washington, D.C. In some areas, up to 105 millimeters of rain fell within just 1 to 1.5 hours. Within only 30 minutes, the water level in Sligo Creek rose by 3 meters, flooding streets and homes. Local residents were shocked by how rapidly the water rose. One eyewitness, who had lived in the area for 20 years, said he had never seen anything like it. For the first time in the region's history, the National Weather Service issued a flash flood emergency. Dozens of people were trapped, stuck in cars and buildings. Rescue teams quickly evacuated those affected, and some roads remained closed the following morning. From January 1st to July 15th, a total of 3,040 flash flood warnings were issued across the U.S., the highest number since the modern alert system was introduced in 1986. On the evening of July 16th, a lightning strike hit an open-air archery range in the state of New Jersey, resulting in the tragic death of one person. 13 more people, including 8 children, were injured. The victims, suffering from burns and other injuries, were taken to nearby hospitals. Experts remind the public that even a relatively mild thunderstorm can pose a serious danger to life. At the first signs of a storm, it is crucial to get indoors immediately. Staying outside can be life-threatening. Typhoon Wipha. Starting on July 19th, Typhoon Wipha swept through several Asian countries. In the Philippines, the typhoon intensified the already ongoing monsoon rains, causing widespread flooding. More than 800,000 people were affected. The water level of the Marikina River in the metropolitan area reached 15 meters, prompting evacuations in nearby neighborhoods and the implementation of protective measures. Over 100 roads and bridges were damaged, and more than 1,200 homes were affected. By the morning of July 21st, 5 deaths were confirmed, and 7 people were reported missing. On July 21st, Typhoon Wipha struck China. In Hong Kong, wind speeds exceeding 167 kilometers per hour were recorded, causing extensive damage. According to local authorities, hundreds of trees fell, and at least 26 people were injured. In Zhuhai, Guangdong province, the wind was so strong that pedestrians were knocked off their feet and literally pinned to the ground. Nearly 300 millimeters of rainfall were recorded in just 12 hours in Fuzhou County, Fujian province. Residential and commercial areas, underground parking lots, and streets were flooded. Water currents swept away cars, and a landslide blocked the entrance to a car tunnel, disrupting traffic and hampering rescue operations. More than 900 flights in the region had to be canceled. The typhoon that reached northern Vietnam on July 22nd caused the partial collapse of a suspension bridge in Dien Bien province, injuring 4 people. In the central provinces of Thanh Hoa and Nghệ An, heavy rains led to power outages and increased the risk of landslides and flooding. Russia. Russia has also faced tragic consequences from lightning strikes. On July 17th, in the mountains of Karachay-Cherkessia, a lightning strike caused the death of a shepherd. The storm came on suddenly, and he didn't have time to take shelter. The strike also killed the entire flock of sheep, a horse, and a dog. A 13-year-old boy died from a lightning strike on July 19th in the Republic of Tuva. During a sudden thunderstorm, he was helping to herd a group of horses at a shepherd's camp. The lightning struck the boy directly, and he died instantly. Vietnam. On July 19th, powerful storms with heavy rains and thunderstorms unexpectedly hit northern Vietnam. In the capital, Hanoi, the extreme weather caused a transportation collapse. Roads were blocked by fallen trees, and the streets were strewn with traffic signs and scattered motorbikes. A tragedy occurred in the picturesque Halong Bay, one of the country's most popular tourist destinations. There were 49 people on board the sightseeing boat when it was suddenly hit by a powerful gust of wind. A surviving crew member reported that a massive wave struck the side of the vessel, and within just 10 seconds, the boat capsized, trapping some passengers inside their cabins. Those on deck were instantly swept away by the wave and carried out to sea. Only a few had time to react and put on life jackets. Around 1,000 specialists and more than 100 pieces of equipment were involved in the search operation, which took place under challenging weather conditions. 10 people were rescued. According to the latest reports, sadly, 35 people have been confirmed dead, and 4 are still missing. Pakistan. Monsoon rains of extreme intensity continue to wreak havoc across Pakistan. In Punjab province, a new wave of downpours that began on the morning of July 16 claimed at least 63 lives within just one day, with another 290 people injured. Flooding has led to the closure of several expressways, as well as the cancellation or delay of dozens of flights. In Chakwal district, over 30 roads were destroyed due to 450 millimeters of rainfall. In some areas of the city of Rawalpindi, water levels reached rooftop height, forcing residents to flee, leaving their belongings behind. Power outages and communication disruptions complicated rescue efforts. In Lahore district, water burst through a 9-meter crack in a dam, flooding nearby settlements. Another dam broke on the Sutlej River, causing extensive flooding of villages and farmland. Since June 26th, 216 people have died in the country, including 101 children. Most lost their lives due to house collapses and electrocutions, while many drowned. Romania. On July 17th, a powerful storm with wind gusts of up to 120 kilometers per hour swept through the Wallachia region. In Wipha County, around 32,000 people were left without electricity. In Bucharest and its suburbs, the storm lasted only half an hour, but it was enough to cause chaos. The temperature suddenly dropped from 30 to 18 degrees Celsius. Dozens of trees fell onto cars, and roofs were torn off some buildings. The storm caught residents off guard. People had to cling to trees and poles in the streets to keep from being blown over. Even inside their homes, people weren't safe. In the town of Otopeni, a woman was killed by debris from a roof torn off a neighboring building. It flew into her apartment and caused fatal injuries. South Korea. Since July 16th, South Korea has been suffering from intense heavy rains that have turned the country into a major disaster zone. The downpours have caused widespread flooding and landslides across the entire country. Roads and residential buildings have been damaged, with over 4,000 infrastructure facilities affected. Power supply and communications have been disrupted, and numerous flights and train services have been cancelled. In just 24 hours, up to 300 millimeters of rainfall were recorded in Sancheon County, South Gyeongsang Province, with the total amount over 4 days reaching nearly 800 millimeters. According to the Korea Meteorological Administration, such intense rainfall occurs only once every 100 to 200 years. For the first time, local authorities ordered a complete evacuation of all residents in the county, rather than just specific towns. South Chungcheong Province was also hit hard by the storm. In the city of Seosan, nearly 115 millimeters of rain fell in just 1 hour, and the total rainfall for the day reached 340 millimeters. Both figures setting new records in the history of meteorological observations. Due to the heavy rainfall, all schools in the 5 hardest-hit cities and counties of the province were completely closed. In some buildings, rainwater reached waist level. Over the course of 5 days, the disaster claimed 14 lives, and 12 people remain missing. Seismic activity. On July 16th, a strong earthquake with a magnitude of 7.3 struck off the coast of Alaska, USA. The earthquake's focus was at a depth of 20 kilometers. The epicenter was located 87 kilometers south of the city of Sandpoint. For southern Alaska and the Aleutian Islands, authorities quickly issued a tsunami warning, which was lifted 2.5 hours later. In the 5 days following the earthquake, over 200 aftershocks were recorded in the region. The strongest aftershock reached a magnitude of 6.2. There have been no reports of significant damage or casualties. On the evening of July 20th, the Kamchatka Peninsula experienced a series of strong underground tremors. The epicenters of the earthquakes were located in the Pacific Ocean, ranging from 72 to 209 kilometers from the city of Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky. In less than an hour, 4 seismic events with magnitudes above 6 were recorded. The strongest earthquake reached a magnitude of 7.6. Residents of several settlements, including the capital of the Kamchatka region, felt the tremors. Furniture swayed in homes, dishes rattled, and goods fell off shelves in stores. Alarmed residents rushed outside, and many chose not to return indoors, with some spending the night at their summer houses. The main directorate of the Ministry of Emergency Situations immediately issued a tsunami threat following the first strong tremors, but the warning was later cancelled. A series of aftershocks followed the main quake. Over 3 days, approximately 1,000 aftershocks with magnitudes up to 6.7 were recorded in the region, with 47 of them reaching magnitude 5 or higher. Not long ago, earthquakes with a magnitude of 5 would attract global media attention and make headlines. Today, such events occur almost daily and are no longer seen as exceptional. They barely get reported. This clearly illustrates just how much seismic activity on the planet has increased, almost unnoticed by most people. On the morning of July 18th, Campi Flegrei, Europe's largest supervolcano, once again alarmed the residents of Italy. An earthquake with a magnitude of 4 occurred in Naples. The epicenter was located offshore near the coast in the Bagnoli area, the heart of the Phlegrean caldera. The quake's focus was just 2.5 kilometers deep, which intensified the impact of the tremors and caused serious consequences. Severe cracks were found in the Monte Olibano tunnel, a crucial section of the railway line that had only been in operation for 4 months. The tunnel closure has significantly worsened the transportation situation in the region and made the train depot, where maintenance is carried out, inaccessible. The planet is currently experiencing extremely serious climate changes. Catastrophes are already claiming countless human lives. In the face of this growing threat, our most vulnerable are our children. Today, many strive to develop a child in every way possible, providing quality education, nurturing talents in sports, science, or music. But how will knowing languages or playing the violin save your child from an earthquake or a flood? What's the point of all this if they might not even live to use these skills and knowledge? It's easier to turn away from reality, to criticize or even insult those who speak this truth. But will that save your child? Will your outrage secure their future? We say we're willing to do anything for our children, yet we fail to see reality. We give children many things, but we don't give them the most important thing, a future. When parents believe they can't change anything, they hide. They hide behind the illusion of care, but in truth, they are simply shirking responsibility. The truth is unpleasant because it demands action. It's easier for us to choose clothes, food, schools, things we can control. But when it comes to real responsibility, we disappear as parents. We become indifferent people. If we truly took responsibility for our children's future, we wouldn't be afraid. We would learn what's happening, we would understand it deeply, and start taking action. To give our children a future, parents need to soberly face the world around them. They need to pay attention to real threats and stop saying, "I can't influence wars," or "I can't stop natural disasters." We must change this world. We must make our children's lives the highest priority. And we can only do this together, united around the simplest and most important thing: caring for the lives of children and the future of all humanity.